These are noodles. These are noodles. These are noodles. And these are noodles. Let's take this instant ramen to the next level. The amounts I used are enough to make 3 bowls of ramen. You're gonna start with some broth. If you don't have any broth, you can use bouillon, or you can use the seasoning packet that comes in the ramen. Or you can just use water. I used 4 cups of broth and 2 cups of water, so 6 cups of total liquid. Then I added 3 tablespoons of soy sauce, a teaspoon of vinegar, and some garlic. I know some people don't like jarred garlic, but that's what I have right now, so it's what I used. I used 2 teaspoons, or about 2 cloves. Then I wanted to put some ginger in here. Fresh ginger would be best. All I have is sushi ginger, so I chopped up about a teaspoon of that. If you don't have ginger, you can use ginger powder, or you can replace it with chili oil, chili paste, or some sriracha. Next, I chopped up the white part of some green onions and added it to the pot. If you don't have green onion, you can use any kind of onion, shallot, or onion powder. Then set that to boil on the stove. While that's heating up, let's talk toppings. I chopped up some mushrooms, the tops of the green onions, bell pepper, and then I had a meltdown trying to cut this silken tofu. I recommend using firm or extra firm tofu because this did not work out very well for me. But again, I wanted to use what I already had instead of going out to get the right tofu. After I got it under control, it still worked really well in the ramen, but you can pretty much put anything in here and it will work well. You could use any frozen veggies you have: spinach, corn, carrots, peas, broccoli, lima beans, bamboo shoots, seaweed, bean sprouts, whatever you have. Once your broth is boiling, chuck the noodles in and cook them however long the package says to cook them. You can use the instant ramen packets, but I've had these udon noodles in my cupboard forever, so I decided to use them here. Plus, I love the instant ramen with the seasoning packet, so I selfishly kept them for myself. Put some of the noodles and the broth into a bowl and add your toppings on top. This is a chance to use up any veggies you have left in your fridge. You can shred some leftover meat or lunch meat in here. You can fry up an egg and add it, but probably not because no one has eggs right now anyway. I decided to finish it with some toasted sesame oil. But that's it. It's very simple and delicious. So on to another noodle dish, pasta salad. First, we need some veggies. I used cucumber and tomato in mine, but pretty much anything would work. Celery, carrot, onions, olives, broccoli. Just chop those into bite-sized pieces and you're good. Then we need to add our pasta. While you're doing that, realize that your bowl is too small and grab a bigger one. Then we need to top this with some dressing. I hate mayo-based pasta salad with a passion, so I'm gonna make a sun-dried tomato and balsamic dressing. I started with about a 1/4 cup of balsamic vinegar, and then I added 1/3 cup of olive oil. I like my dressing really tangy, but if you wanted it to be less acidic, you can add up to 3/4 cup of olive oil, depending on your taste. Speaking of taste, when you're cooking, you have to remember to taste your food. This way you can know if it maybe needs more salt, a little more pepper, more acidity, less acidity. Taste this dressing and make it your own. I also chopped up a few sun-dried tomatoes. If you don't have these, you can use a teaspoon of tomato paste or just leave it out altogether. I also added a little of the oil from the sun-dried tomatoes, and then I added about 1/2 teaspoon of salt, some black pepper, a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, and a little bit of dried parsley and rosemary. Then I put the lid on and gave it a shake. Just drizzle that into your pasta salad and give it a mix, and that's it. If you don't have the stuff to make this dressing, make whatever dressing you can. You can use bottled dressing, whatever you have. So there's 2 noodle dishes that hopefully you already have all the ingredients for in your house. Remember to try and use what you have, and now that we have a little more time on our hands, why not use it to make delicious food without having to leave the house?